Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your patience and thank you for joining us today as Metropolitan Community College presents its final virtual program for Hispanic Latino Heritage Month 2022. Special thanks to those of you who have been with us for the entire series. My name is Barbara Velasquez. Metro's programming falls within many of the nationally recognized Heritage Months. While recognition occurs 365 days a year, from September 15th through October 15th, the United States highlights the contributions of Hispanic and Latino champions who trace their roots to Spain, Mexico, Central America, South America, and the Spanish-speaking nations of the Caribbean. This year's national theme is Unidos, inclusivity for a stronger nation. That's Unidos, inclusivity for a stronger nation. Your microphones and chat with other audience members are turned off, but you may always contact the hosts. Send your questions at any time to moderator Barbara Velasquez. Today, you'll have one more opportunity to complete an online evaluation and include your contact information to be recognized for your outstanding participation of at least 20 programs over the course of the academic year ending in June 2023. The Hispanic Center of Omaha opened its doors last March for dance classes and as a performing center and venue location. Housed at the site of the former Center Theater, the renovated building will include a stage of art stage, an auditorium, a dance studio, and a dressing room. LEAH Moreno was born on October 26, 1975, originally from Pericos, Nayarit, a small town on the Pacific coast of Mexico. Her studies are pedagogy at the Superior School of Nayarit and professional dance at the Mexican Academy of Dance in Tepic, Nayarit. She received diplomas in Mexican folk dance with the Folklórico Ballet of Mexico, as well as diplomas in domestic violence and child abuse at the Autonomous University of Mexico. LEAH worked as a high school and elementary school teacher in addition to being a folklórico dance teacher at the Ministry of Public Education in the state of Nayarit. She immigrated to Nebraska in 2001 and since 2002 began working as a dance teacher and choreographer for different organizations and artistic projects for the Latino community. LEAH is the recipient of awards from the City of Omaha and the Latino Leadership Conference of the Midlands for her artistic contribution to the Hispanic community. She currently works as the artistic director and choreographer of the Hispanic Art Center of Omaha. Please welcome LEAH Moreno.
Hola, welcome everyone. I'm LEAH. I'm here with Milton Schneider, who is the general manager of Hispanic Art Center of Omaha, and Nadia Aguilar, who is the dance teacher for the adults beginner class. So welcome and enjoy this great moment. I believe you are learning a lot about what we're doing here at Hispanic Art Center of Omaha and also our performers.
So thank you, LEAH. Everybody's going to have a chance to talk today, and we will be interspersing some nice videos so you can see the property and see some of the rehearsals, see what I call just spectacular interaction and engagement with the community. I would like to ask everybody to please send your questions to moderator Barbara Velasquez. That way you can get involved, and there's going to be a lot of Q&A going on. But can you tell us, LEAH, before we see any of the videos, or your other panelists are welcome to, but tell us a little bit how this vision for the Hispanic Art Center of Omaha developed and where you got started with it, and how far along do you think you are?
I guess I'll field that. Milt Schneider. The dance instruction side of the building is complete, and we do dance instructions here 5 days a week. The theater side of the building, we are still waiting on permit approval from the city, hoping to get that this month, and then hoping to have the building's grand opening early 2023.
Thank you. Leah, I know you mentioned to me that you involve the community in some of the decisions, like going around to houses, et cetera. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, in our community, we have the necessity to creating spaces for kids, teenagers, and adults, of course. I believe our community need, places for kids to showing their talent and learning about their culture and tradition. The beginning of this project is starting with the folklórico dance classes to open this space, and invite community to enjoy our programs, but also having the stage that give it to so many organizations and dance group around the area to enjoy and performing here and show their talent. And I believe part of the projects or programs that we have is not only Mexicans, so we involve in other groups, dance groups, and in other communities too.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. So Metropolitan Community College technical staff and I had the nice pleasure of visiting the Hispanic Art Center of Omaha during some of their rehearsals. And Joe is our tech today. He's going to put up a video so you can see not only some of the rehearsal, but also some really beautiful comments that we received from maybe the most experienced dancers that Leah has worked with. So we're going to start out with that today, just to get a view of where dancers start and why dance is important to them. So Joe, go ahead and put that one up.
Baile folclórico. Baile folclórico para mí son imágenes, colores, sabores se puede decir porque pues compartimos mucha comida y veces y eso. En la cultura folclórica.
It means everything to me. I fell in love with it the first dance class I had with LEAH. And I think it's an amazing way that allows me to express myself in ways I can't. Outside of stage, I'm really shy. And I think this gives me motivation to be someone I'm not. I also love that it represents my culture. And I love that it connects me with my parents' culture. And I love when they see me dance because I feel closer to them.
¿Qué significa para mí? Significa alegría, mucho orgullo. Me da un poco de sentimiento porque mi hermano era un profesor de folclore y él acaba de fallecer por el COVID. Bailar folclore siempre va a estar en mi corazón, especialmente porque fue mi hermano quien nos lo inculcó a la familia.
Well, to me, it means that I can express myself in ways that I usually can't, and it's a way that I can de-stress myself, I guess you can say, since I feel like every step I take on the stage is like a weight off my back, and I just feel free, I guess, when I'm dancing.
What dancing means to me is a way to express yourself, become somebody that interprets somebody else on stage, a connection to our culture, our country. It's a special way to connect. It's also, even though I'm older, it's a way to inspire other people that it doesn't matter the age you have, you can still dance and express yourself and have fun.
La danza folclórica para mí fue un sueño desde niño. Yo a los 6 años vi bailar en una escuela a mis primas y desde ahí me enamoré. Y siempre fue mi sueño, mi sueño, mi sueño. Después quise entrar al Ballet Folclórico de México, pero mi mamá me quitó los ánimos porque dijo que era para puros muchachos altos. Entonces ya ahí me mató los sueños, pero después ya no me importó y yo entré a bailar en Bellas Artes en México y después aquí. Entonces, ¿qué te puedo decir? La danza, tanto folclórica como otro tipo de danza, como la música tropical, siempre ha sido mi vida.
Significa cada rincón de México. Significa nuestra gente que vive en Estados Unidos, que representa nuestro país, México, que representa felicidad, expresión, orgullo de tu país, de tus raíces, de tu cultura, que es el baile folclórico y otras tradiciones dentro de nuestro país, México.
Mexican folklórico means a lot of things to me. It's a way that I can represent my culture, and I feel like I also make my parents very proud because they always wanted, my mom always wanted to dance folklórico and she never got the opportunity. So to see me do it, she always tells me that she feels very proud of me. And it brings me a lot of joy, and I feel like it's also raised my confidence a lot since I've started.
For me, Mexican dance is a way that I can transmit my passion and a little bit of my culture to the people who come and see us dance. It's definitely a way to express yourself, and it's just another way to connect to my country since I cannot be there present.
Mexican folklórico for me is a lifestyle. It isn't a hobby. It's a way to stay connected to my roots. It's a way to represent the country that my grandparents came from, and it's a way to stay connected to my culture. And I represent it proudly every time I step on stage and dance, and I love it so much.
Thank you so much, Joe, for putting that up for us, that video up, and for our audience members, that gives you an opportunity to see where they're at right now at the Hispanic Art Center of Omaha, to see the range of dancers in rehearsals, how some of them start very young. And I know that they also have beginning classes for adults. And I was recently at an event in Bellevue, and the adult beginners were dancing at that event. So, you know, there's so many variables and pieces to what is going on with this marvelous organization. Leah and other panelists, how does it make you feel to hear the comments from those dancers? And those were the more advanced dancers, correct?
Hi, my name is Maddie. Sorry, I got a little emotional as I was listening. I too myself was one of the students since years ago. I'm talking double-digit years. Teenager, yes, I was a teenager. I can connect with those comments. Hearing those comments, it's really personal, just because you know that it's not just out of exercise or, like, you know, Maria said, a hobby. It's more because it's passion, because you feel it, because you connect with it. So seeing that growth, seeing those same people that you end up bonding, it's not just a class, not just dancing, you become a family. So it's this big connection that it's really hard sometimes to explain, and seeing now, like, my children involved in it, seeing friends that I've known for years, it's very special. It's very special. I'm knowing that, you know, she created this, so it's a bond that you create a family. It's a family. It's a family that you have that same passion in common, among other stuff, and it's dance.
Thank you. Nettie, tell us more about your current role with the Hispanic Arts Center of Omaha?
So right now I teach the beginner adult classes. I have from teen to adults, ranges from different ages. And my role basically is teaching them the basics and getting prepared for the next level to get them introduced to LEAH's professional classes. So that's basically transmitting on my passion to them, also making sure that they see the meaning to it. Not just, hey, these are the steps, but this is the purpose of it. This is the purpose of the saw, teaching them a little bit also of expression of self-confidence to make sure that they can actually give that presentation to the audience, transmit those feelings to the audience, as you know, as you saw that when we performed in Bellevue. So that was the goal. That was the goal.
So I've had the nice opportunity to observe LEAH years ago with a rehearsal and how she taught, and then this last visit to see how her role has advanced with now developing many teachers. What kind of things did she teach you about teaching others? How what did she instill in you? What kind of things are just givens that must be done to create this artistry?
Yes, she taught me leadership, confidence, which are very important in teaching. She taught me to be myself. She taught me that we all are born with gifts. And when we have a gift, we shouldn't just keep it to ourselves. We're supposed to share it with the world, share it with others. When I used to dance for her, you know, like I said, I saw her as one of my mentors. I always said, gosh, I want to get to that point. I want to get to dance just like her. And the honor that I felt when she invited me to be able to teach, she gave me that opportunity to dream again. And beyond of what I even thought I would even do, it's something just great. I mean, like I said, she has taught me, and I'm pretty sure that I share this along with others, you know, she taught me not to give up and just, this is what you want, you know, give it your all. It's your passion, put your all in it.
Thank you. LEAH and Milt, what you've taken on is in no way a simple task. You've shared with me the many visions that you have for the Hispanic Arts Center of Omaha, but when you listen to the comments from your dancers in that video, what thoughts does it give you? I'm guessing it might inspire you even more.
The Hako has been it's more familiar. You know, you walk into this building at night when the instruction's taking place. It's family, there's happiness, there's joy. It's like unlike anything that you've seen before. And then the little ones, the 3 to 5 year olds, when they're in there with their instructor, they're so enthusiastic. The music stops and the instructor has to tell them to stop dancing. They keep going. It is just a great experience. I've owned a lot of businesses. This is the first one that I've ever been involved with just being in the building. Even if you're in a bad mood, you instantly go to a happy place. It's just a very different experience.
LEAH, did you have anything you wanted to add?
You know, it's the first time that I saw that video. It melts my heart because everything that we're creating here is with a lot of love and passion. And I think our goals is make our students, you know, learn how to dance, but not only dance, you know, sharing their energy to the audience, their skills, but also connecting with people, inspiring another person when they're on the stage. So is so beautiful. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity to share, our work in our community.
Well, we're very honored that Metropolitan Community College can share in this with you through this video, and we look forward to seeing how things continue to develop. I'd like to take a step back before we go into any of our other videos, though, and this is going to focus completely on you, Leah. You came here many years ago as an immigrant, and to see the impact that you have had with, getting started as a teacher, finding a place, developing these amazing teachers who were initially your students. And again, I think most of us would agree it's so hard to gain the trust when you move into a new location. And you're always somewhat of an outsider. How did you do that? How did you start? What were your battles?
It's a little bit hard. The beginning was hard. I have a very nice job in Mexico. I'm teaching dance, and also I was working as investigator for domestic violence and child abuse with the police department there. So I got kidnapped in Mexico. And after that traumatic event, I don't have another choice, just migrate, and start my life again from zero. And I moved to Nebraska 21 years ago. And I'm starting my career. And I want to share, this part of me who rescued me for that bad moments in my life. And I remember I started with 5 kids teaching in a basement. And then we moved into the garage. And then I created the first organization under the name of, I think it was Shotal, Ballet Folklórico. And then, we're working as a nonprofit. And then I was saving money for 10 years to open Mexican Dance Academy of Nebraska when I closed doors on COVID, the pandemic, because I can survive paying rent for 2 years there. So these 2 years give me that opportunity to organize me with my husband and looking for a place, because my husband telling me, Leah, you have to put your talent again in the community. I think the community needs you. And right now our vision is continue, with this. Right now it's only dance, but in the near future, I would love to have music lessons and theater lessons and different activities for kids and teenagers, adults. Yeah.
Excellent. So I'd like you to tell us a little bit about the location. I know that in the introduction, I mentioned historically what the building was, but if somebody wants to find you, how do they find you? And what state is the building in at this point?
Okay, the address is 3504 Center. It's right on the corner of 35th Center. It's in a wide castle building. It was the old Center Theater. And they can reach us on Facebook. Like us on Facebook with the name Hispanic Center of Omaha. And we have been sharing, our activities and programs and performances. And also by email, by our website, which is another construction. But it's the way to contact us right now.
Okay, well, we're gonna, I'm asking Joe, I just sent him a picture of the building. So if you want to look for that in your email, Joe, but in the meantime, he's going to put up a video of you've seen the rehearsal area that's done, but we want to show you other parts of this building. And Milt and Leah and Eddie, if there's anything, you can speak right over the top of this video because there's no sound to it. And you can tell us, you know, what the plans are and what features to this space make you feel like it was the right space for the Hispanic Art Center of Omaha. So Joe, go ahead and play that video. And when the video's done, we'll show you what the exterior of the building looks like. And what do you what do you anticipate happening to this area?
This is the main lobby. Most of this is to be demoed out. This is the front entrance to the building. There'll be the new ADA bathrooms. This is the main building itself, the theater section. Naturally, the floors will be redone. At the front of the theater there, that wall, there is a 26-foot high resolution screen that'll be going in. It has a state-of-the-art sound system. There'll be chandeliers in there. It has sports a 20-foot ceiling, a professional sound system. There'll be a full service bar at the back for our clients. And it's anticipated to have an occupancy rating of somewhere between 600 and 800 people.
And there's some features in the old structure that are very historically important. Could you tell us about that?
I believe that arch, it comes from the Trans-Mississippi Exposition in Omaha. I believe it was in the 1890s. We decided to keep it, you know, everything, because for Omaha and has a lot of value for sure. So this is what are you talking about?
That is the front of the building. It's an older picture. We've since painted it, upgraded it. The front banner there will be replaced with a rolling digital screen. And then there's 2 digital monitors out front to give the playlist of upcoming events at the building.
Excellent. And did you mention the pillars that we saw when we were
We
in that video?
did not. The statues in there were part of the original building. We were actually able to find the mold maker for that and commission 3 additional ones because in the renovation of the building, we exposed 2 more columns. So 2 statues will be added to the interior of the building, and then 1 will be put into storage in the basement.
Excellent. And right now you're just waiting on permits from the city to get started. Is that correct?
The city had a couple of follow-up questions that we dealt with yesterday. Naturally, with COVID, everything is delayed, but we're hoping to get the plans reviewed this month and then get started on the work. Once we have the plans from the city, my people are fairly quick at getting things done. So we would hope to have the grand opening of the building in January, February.
Wow, that is fast. Yeah.
It's been over a year. It's been a long, arduous process. The dance side was the priority to get that up and running, to get the dance studio put back together, because as Leah mentioned, we had to shut down the Mexican Dance Academy of Nebraska for COVID. So we wanted to get everyone back together as soon as we could. And that went fairly quick. Everyone was real eager to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So audience members, it's so hard to articulate the feel in that building when activity is going on, just like Milt was telling us. You know, if you get the chance to stop in, you guys have classes Monday through Thursday, is that correct, in the evening?
Mm-hmm.
And you see parents sitting and waiting, but they look like they're having fun and they're happy, and the decor is really lovely. And just like Leah said, I think it was Leah who said, the kids have to be told to stop dancing. They're having a good time. And they're so proud of themselves. You know, I was sorry that our video showed just a small part of the kids, but, you know, they were wonderful. And the teacher of the little children is also was a former student of LEAH. So
She started dancing when she was 5 years old.
wow.
He's 25 now.
Maria
I met
Sosa.
her, yeah, I met her 20 years ago.
One of the things that I've noticed when I watch LEAH around her dancers is the loving care is there, but this is business too, right? And so I feel like they really learn how to present themselves. Even when we were doing the interviews, LEAH was right there to say, I want you to turn this way and make sure you smile. I mean, it's business, right? But it's so important because art needs to be shown at its highest level, right?
Absolutely.
At this point, let's, Joe, go ahead. What we want to show you all are examples of some of the performances, and the Hispanic Art Center of Omaha has a YouTube channel. They kindly let us borrow I think there's 5 different performances that we're showing 2 minutes of each. So this will be about 10 minutes where we'll go from show to show. And I would like any of our panelists to speak over that video if you want to say anything about it as it's showing. So go ahead, Joe, let's put that up.
That was in Grand Island. That's my class actually. And the one girl right here, right in the corner, towards the front, it's actually my daughter.
That's this year's state fair. Right?
Yeah, this year's State's Fair, we're dancing for the state of Jalisco. The Mariquita. It was amazing because that day, LEAH noticed that the sun was really hot. I mean, really hot. I turned out to be a full-on tomato, and the crowd was not leaving. Some people had tank tops, some people didn't have hats, and they stayed just to see all the groups perform.
And this is the adult beginners. they are starting getting classes up and running.
Yes.
So after 5 months, 4 months of hard work, that is the result.
Yes.
Like when someone got the little ones, because they're my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
We're celebrating the Mexican Independence Day on Vedas Hall, and the guys are performing in the state of Sinaloa. The music from Sinaloa, it comes to Mexico from the German immigrants. So we, with the years, we changing and making our own style, but usually the music comes from Japan. Has America, Mexico, we hosting a lot of immigrants for different reasons. I've never seen anyone that they had that performance. In that part of the Mexico, it's very, very hot weather. So the guys are wearing bananas to cover from sweat and don't make it stain on the shirts. The girls using like very tropical skirts and comfy blouses just to be, fresh from the heat. This is our new program from Jalisco. It's our new customs for this season. I believe it was the celebration to the Mexican Independence Day this year.
That's your professional.
This is the professional group. My students, mostly of those dancers, they start their career as a dancer since they were, 5, 6 years old. We miss a couple of them at the end of the performance. And also, all of the costumes are made in Mexico. I buy I design the costume, and I send the design to them, and then create it for me. They know that I'm a ticket person. They have to show me the color of the ribbons. They make me a sample. If I approve it, they made all of the costumes. For 2 months, every dress has like 13 to 14 meters of fabric. And ribbons and embellishments too. You can see that people are excited to see them. I believe that ones are like 10 to 12 years old students.
Okay, so thank you to Nate Tweedy for making selections and putting together that nice video so that our audience could see somewhat of a finished product. I think dance is never a finished product, but and again, audience, I encourage you to send your questions to moderator Barbara Velasquez so we can continue the conversation with our distinguished panelists. Do you have a favorite dance? There's so many that you have presented to our community.
You know, Barbara, we have 32 states in Mexico, and every single state has different regions. So every region has their own tradition and folklore. So I'm always said that the folklore is like never ends in Mexico. It's always learning something. That's why every year I taking classes, to get more updates about new songs and dances and styles. And but if you tell me for one in particular, I believe Veracruz is one of my best dances that I like to perform and teaching, because mostly of the steps are zapateados from Spain. It's a mix of three cultures: the Afro culture, the Espanol, and also the indigenous. So when you see that program together, you can tell, in which parts of the routines has the Afro part, the Espanol part, and also the indigenous part too. Yeah.
Excellent. And as your students are learning dance, how do they learn the cultural components?
Usually when I start teaching them the name of the song, I explain them what is the name coming from, and also I teach them the history of the dance, a little bit about how we dance that particular song and the customs. For me, it's important teaching them that, because I like them when people ask them on the audience, tell me a little bit why you dancing that song, or why you wearing this dress. They know exactly how to explain to the audience about that. Yes.
And one thing I love about her teaching, when she introduces a song, even if it's the same state, a song, she'll tell us the purpose of the song. Each song is a story. So she'll explain to us from why is it that they're wearing what they're wearing, where the steps come from, what makes that step, what expressions you have, why is expression, where does that come from? So she gives details, so you don't just learn stuff, she explains the culture behind each of the songs. Very, very, very lovely information.
I imagine that the children can sometimes teach their parents some of this too, because we often don't learn our history very well, right? So do you experience that where maybe Nettie, have you ever heard any of your students say that they have conversations with their family after practice? Or
I do have, there's one that I have that she's one of my younger students, she's one of my teens. And one of my older women that, but she goes home and she tells her husband about what she learned. Leah has been able to come in also in our class and give them that insight too. So they get to have also that privilege of having her in class as well. And one of my students, she tells me, and I can see it, she'll practice at home and she'll explain to her dad. And her dad one time did give me feedback how he told me, like, I can't remember exactly everything she was telling me, but she was explaining to me. It's like when Leah explained as to where the song came from. He's like, but I like that they appreciate, a lot of parents appreciate that their children are learning the culture, not just the dance, but the culture behind the music.
it's truly a way to develop community pride, where sometimes the things that have happened to us throughout our lives cloud over the pride that we should have, right? And I just feel like you're such an important component of our community.
Yeah.
We thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you.
So you did mention that you participate in continuing education, Leah, to learn more. I was going to say that I know you had tremendous teachers in Mexico and you probably were one of the top students, but I just thought you got to be I just know you to be somebody who's not going to stop at first learning opportunity.
We are part of the National Association of Ballets Folklóricos in America. So every year we have a conference. They bring teachers from Mexico, and all of the instructors and teachers who are, who wants to learn more, they're having that special week to teaching you. But also, I like getting classes with Ballet Folklórico de México. They have the opportunities here for American teachers to learn. So I travel to different parts of America every year for a week and getting those classes because I like that style of Ballet Folklórico de México, which is one of the biggest company, not only in Mexico, in the world. So their teachers are so professional, and they teaching you so many ways to teaching kids, and their skills are different. And I like put everything that I'm learning in these programs to my students to encourage them and inspire them to be, a bigger dancer, a professional dancer. And let me tell you something. I have a student, her name is Susana Pettis. She's been dancing with me when she was, I believe, 6 or 5 years old. And she moves to Utah to learn study professional, to be a professional dancer. And she said, I never thought that folklorico was a big impact, everywhere. So I moved into the school and I got like an audition because they put him in a play and they need folklorico dancers. And it was a folklorico dance teacher. And when she saw me dancing, she running away, and said, wait, behind me. She said, I said, where did you learn that? You take classes in Mexico? And she said, no, I took classes in Omaha. And she said, oh my gosh, that is impossible. You know, you have technique for that school and that school. Where do you learn that? My teacher, and that teacher originally, she contacted me and said, you know, I really respect your job. I saw one of your students dancing for me, and she's an extraordinary dancer. Oh my God. I can believe that I can find dancers with that quality of techniques here in America. And I said, yeah, I'm teaching my students to be, you know, professional and doing everything with love and passion every time that they perform.
That's a beautiful story.
Yeah, and she graduated last year, so she will be on Broadway very soon.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling us. Really appreciate that. Tell us, what is the commitment for the dancers? How often do they practice? Do they pay?
Our programs requires take at least 2 or 4 hours per week, or 2 hours per week in some groups, especially the little ones. It's only 1 hour for them. 2 hours is too much. But for the adult beginners and semi and professionals, that requires 4 hours a week of classes, which is in 2 days, 2 hours per day. The reason is because we like to practicing technique, and you know, in 2 hours is enough time for them to practice these routines and learning from the basic to the professional levels.
Excellent. Shout out to Danielle Smith, who is bringing her class today. We appreciate your being with us. And is there a cost for classes? I'm sorry if you said that, Leah, I might have missed it.
Yeah, the classes, the monthly tuition is $110. So I'm saying they pay like I want to say like $10, $5 per class.
Thank you.
I believe it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's 110 a month.
Yeah. Mhm.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And if somebody might be interested or know somebody who's interested in joining, do they contact you through Facebook or?
Yes, and also we open two new beginners class starting on November. It's just an introduction to folklórico. They were learning the basic, how to using the skirt, the shoe technique. We like to preparing them during November in the first 2 weeks of December, because our programs is starting in February. But I like to the beginner groups to getting like introduction first before they start the program in February. So it will be 6 weeks program starting in November 10.
Thank you so much. So, Mil, Leah, and Nettie, do you have any final comments you'd like to share with our audience? It's been such a pleasure to learn about the Hispanic Art Center of Omaha, and we're so thankful and so proud to have you in our community.
I think that anyone that was interested, they're more than welcome to visit us. You know, reach out and come down and watch one of the classes, take a look at what's going on. Walk in and experience what you experienced when you felt the building and the atmosphere, the inclusivity, the sense of family. You know, it's a very, very different thing.
And I like visitors. We always have visitors, the neighbors, people who stop by and see us and say hi, and we can give it to them a little tour. Sometimes people asking about programs. Our future programs right now is Dia de los Muertos. We're creating an amazing choreographies, routines and costumes, and it's magic. You know, we're creating beautiful pieces. We're performing at Metropolitan Community College South Campus on November 1st. The show will be at 7. It's a big exposition of art. The Mexican American Society is the organization who are doing these programs is starting next week, but our performances will be on November 1st and November 2nd. November 1st will be at Metropolitan Community College South Campus at 7 p.m. Let me read here, what is the, I read a note. And the November 2nd will be in Benson Theater at the same time, 7 p.m. Come and enjoy. It's a beautiful, beautiful event. It's 1 hour performance.
And they happen to be on the actual traditional dates for Day of the Dead. Dia de los Angelitos.
My personal favorite program.
Yeah,
Yes.
and be prepared
To see
to be
tears.
emotional because, you know, many of those songs are pre-Columbian songs, you know, that it was a song from the Indians, they're singing and playing music and we're creating a moment with a very pure celebration of Dia de los Muertos with customs, music and perform. So you guys are more than welcome. I believe the performance in Metro is completely free.
Yeah, it's great.
It's free admission, but I believe in Benson is like $20 a ticket per person.
Excellent. Well, thank you. We know you've been working really hard on that performance and just making time for us to do this presentation today in the middle of all your work. We're just even more appreciative.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy right now. Have my house full of fabrics and flowers and because I like creating the customs and the headpieces and I want to make sure that you know, I have everything done my goal is finishing everything the last week of October and have 1 week free, my birthday week, which is in October 26th. I want to be done by that.
And that's another thing that it's the closure here, it's the bond is big. I see a lot of parents sometimes coming in and out when a lot of, I mean, Leah's mind, if you were to go in there, you'd be like Allison wonder like, wow. You know, she has a mind of a costume that she cannot find and buy, she'll create it. And then you'll have all these moms pitching and saying, hey, I can help with that too. And we have a lot of hands-on.
So we having in part of the play, we have the little ones wearing this a little piece, you know, from the to represent the Hispanic era. So moms are embroidering everything. So I teach them how to do it. So every evening you see the moms here on the hallways, you know.
Getting coffee.
Yeah.
In the lobby, because you know, that's how you come in here, it feels like home.
It's an amazing place to learn, not only dance, you can see, you know, you learn so many things. So, and we by the audience too, they want to be a volunteer, you know, making customs and learning how to do it. So we have so many activities every day.
That's just wonderful. And for anybody who experiences the Hispanic Art Center of Omaha's performances, you absolutely need to recognize that LEAH is behind every component of it. And it's so beautiful that she generously shares her knowledge so that the community can build and grow that way. It's just amazing. So we're so thankful to have you here. Thank you very much. And I thank the audience for being so attentive. Our numbers grew and nobody dropped out even a minute early, which is, you know, we've got a lot going on, so we appreciate that. Joe, would you please put up our evaluation slide? And again, there's a link in your chat. You can just click on, I will send that address out to you also. And then the final slide is our next program. We're finishing up Hispanic Latino heritage, but of course honoring it throughout the year. And I know I want to be at the Day of the Dead performance. I really hope I can fit that in. But at Metro, from my office area, we will be moving on to our Diversity Matters film and lecture series, which runs from September through May, every academic year. And our next program is called Meltdown in Dixie, and we will have discussion led by Professor Deandra Ori, who's a professor of political science at Jackson State University. Many people in the community know him, and we'll be looking at issues related to why we need to vote in the elections. And Meltdown in Dixie deals with some of that. So we want to encourage everybody. I believe I saw that the last day to register to vote is October 21st, but don't wait. Just go online and register if you haven't voted yet. It's really always important to vote. Thank you, everyone. And thank you to LEAH Moreno, to Milt, and to Nettie. You've given us such a beautiful start to our morning. Have a good day, everybody.
You too. Thanks.